I'm Travis.
And we are late to the party. And it's a special edition of...
Better late than never.
Better late than never. But Travis...
Why is it so special?
100 episodes.
100 episodes already?
It is our centennial.
So why are we sitting with this old crap here?
Yeah, Travis, kick it up a notch.
No,
man.
you know what? Fine. We'll update our technology.
Hello there once again, and it's our 100th episode. New regeneration.
Ooh.
I get it.
Doctors, that's what
The set. We've upgraded.
New logos, new shirts. You can see the link down below to purchase if you like.
And we are rolling forward through Better Late Than Never, and Travis killing it for the last 100 episodes, plus a Christmas special with like 8 movies in it. But yeah, Travis, what do you have in store for the future of Better Late Than Never?
Well, for the future, I think we need to go back in the past first.
Okay.
So I want to talk about something.
Isn't that every Better Late Than Never,
technically?
Touche.
Okay.
So
Fair
enough.
Fair play to you.
I just want to give credit to the first feature-length film ever made.
Okay.
Yeah, did you ever realize it? The first feature-length film was an Australian movie, 70 minutes long. It's a story of Kelly and his gang.
Okay.
Released December 26, 1906. We're not going to watch the trailer, because there was no trailers back then.
Okay, yeah.
But I think it's worth noting, because without this movie, we wouldn't have any feature films that we'd have today. It brings me to my all-time favorite movie ever made, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Of course. We got in trouble at Disneyland because Travis was there buying all the merch. He even bought the bullwhip, and the guy scolded Travis before he even purchased it.
We will kick you out of Disneyland if you open that whip.
Because Travis, he is Indiana Jones in his dreams.
He looks like a rapscallion.
In his, what? In his home.
I was saying Travis looks like a rapscallion.
Oh, okay, yeah. But no, Indiana Jones, yes, has always been a big part of Travis's life. I'm telling you this, he could tell you, but it emanates through life with Travis that Indiana Jones is number one. And so Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, which was released May 24th of 1989.
Now, Vanessa, Last Crusade is more fresh to you in terms of venturing forth into the world of Indiana Jones?
Not really. I mean, that one's kind of the one that I watched the most out of all of them. I think the one that's fresh in my mind, to be fair, is Temple of Doom, and I have not seen that movie like all the way through.
But you've absorbed Last Crusade a little bit more recently.
That's true.
Schmoedown preparations. You're paying attention. Marcus Brody, Mr. Brody's son.
Well, to be fair, we did watch it recently, and it is my favorite of the 3.
I love that Sala comes back, but we'll get into that more after we get into the trailer for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Yeah.
We're about to complete a great quest, the Holy Grail, Dr. Jones.
Walter Donovan.
Oh, rats. This is it. The shield is the second mark.
Kitty is a schoolboy.
Kitty is a schoolboy.
Indiana Jones is on the quest of a lifetime.
Said horses.
Some adventures. One Jones is not enough.
Junior.
Copy that, please. Follow me.
I know the way. I love Dome Elliott.
Across 3 continents. And in this sort of race, there's no silver medal for finishing second. Hang on, Dad, we're going in. Into the homeland of the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Nazis. I hate
These guys. This is the castle, isn't it?
Our situation
You have
is not
tapestries.
How down it is.
Spoilers! Don't like fast men. Oh, I don't like fast women. I hate arrogant men.
Are you crazy? I said
Don't go between them.
Where's my father? In the belly of that steel beast.
Ah, such a great finale. It's not even a finale.
It's like on its way to the
Uh-huh.
finale.
You call this archaeology?
Look what you've done. It's war.
The Grail is not archaeology. It's a race against evil. Germany has declared
War on the Joneses.
Boys.
Most people are trying to kill us. I know that. This is your experience from
Happens to me all the time.
Yep.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Have the adventure of your life. Keeping up with the Joneses.
There you go. So, Indiana Jones. Travis.
Well, it was made with a budget of only $48 million.
Luigi.
A budget of $48 million, made $474.2 million at the box office. And as you know, was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Of course.
Starred Harrison
Harrison
Ford,
Ford.
Sean Connery, so many other. It's a great cast, great movie. I love it. There's so much action, drama, comedy, romance.
Twist.
Wow, about the twist.
Yeah.
What to do?
Yeah, so much there. What's interesting is when this movie was, when Indiana Jones was made, George Lucas had in mind of making a trilogy.
Right.
And when he was writing this movie, he wanted to make it more like a haunted mansion type movie. But Spielberg was kind of against the idea because of Poltergeist. It's too similar. I don't want that at all.
Right.
So there was a lot of back and forth on what the story should be for Last Crusade. And the Holy Grail kind of came up at one point, but they kind of dismissed it. And at one point, Lucas wrote an 8-page treatment for the Indiana Jones called Indiana Jones and the Monkey King.
Okay.
So, which was really followed by the search of the Fountain of Youth. So it took them through Scotland and Africa and stuff. Kind of seemed a little silly, but I'm glad they went with this way.
Well, it's completely connected to the very first Indiana Jones. Like what Randy said in Scream, how the third one has ties to the first one, things that you thought you knew you didn't know.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a sequel to the first movie versus the second movie, which granted, technically it is, but going back to the Nazis, going back to the Holy Relics, going back to that battle against Hitler, or at least Hitler's army, is what was so great about the very first Indiana Jones. It's what was lacking about the fourth Indiana Jones, where you couldn't replicate it when it came to the Soviets, but it felt like we were back at home. You got Sala, you got Marcus Brody, you brought familiarity from the first one to the third one.
And then of course you add, Sean Connery in the mix too, and I think that he worked really well with Harrison Ford being, his father in this movie, and just like some of the things that he does in this movie, because when you think of Sean Connery, you think James Bond. You don't think of like very light in a way of his acting and stuff. And some of the things that he says, and he says them very like you laugh, and the love, like the way that he talks about that.
I remember my alma mater.
And the birds in the sky. His vulnerability. Sean Connery, who was always a tough man, showed a lot of vulnerability as Henry Jones. And that's different for him, but to be up against his type of character, which he's been in the past, which is Harrison Ford, they are a perfect play on each other, and you even see the growth in Henry Jones from beginning to the end of the movie. Even when, he pulls the trigger and blows up the truck next to the tank, he's like, look what you've done, it's war, The pen is mightier than the sword.
Henry, the pen. What? But don't you see? The pen is mightier than the sword.
And things just don't go good for them, all the little accidental moments that they end up in the fireplace, hitting it and flipping around. Like, there is so much comedy in there.
That's what I love about it. It's the accidental of everything happening.
Right.
It just works perfect.
But it also doesn't feel like forced on us.
Of course.
See, that was one of the things about like Indiana Jones is that he did mess up. He did get like into
never
these
perfect.
like yeah, right. He's never perfect, and I don't know, for some reason when we go into the fourth movie, it just didn't feel the same. Like it felt like they were just putting it in there because they knew that that's what happened with Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they were trying to be like,
There
oh,
was no
this is how
structured story for the fourth one.
right. Like this is how Indiana Jones is supposed to be. Let's just put it in there instead of it being like. Be there, you know what I mean?
You know the connection I kind of see with that, and it's funny because it's also a Spielberg movie. Remember in The Lost World where Sarah Harding is on top of the roof and the raptors are fighting and she falls off and she falls into another room onto a light that falls and then she rolls out of a window and then there they are. It's like, okay, when you kind of watch it, it's like, well, that's silly. Like there's nothing organic about it. You just created it to be funny. Or just to feel like she's rolling out into the solution will present itself. Where that was Spielberg already starting to like, I'm going to engineer those moments where Indiana Jones movies, it was organic, it was natural. It didn't feel like, well, we want it to end here, so let's figure out how to get it there.
Right.
It's like, oh damn, that's pretty hilarious the way things actually do work out.
And I love the way that you said like they already knew where they wanted to end, so
Right.
they kind of worked backwards to figure out how to get there. Whereas I feel like in the other ones, they just kind of went with the flow to get to where they wanted to go.
Right. It's like, well, we got to get Sarah back to them in the Lost World. It's like, well, we're just going to have it be completely out of the ordinary, just weird, basically on the level of spoof to get her there. And I feel like that's what the fourth Indiana Jones did, where it's like, well, now we're just doing things to do stuff to get him into this and out of the situation, versus let's get out of this situation very naturally. So like in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, you got the big ball rolling after him. He gets out of that situation, but into a much worse situation organically, and it made sense because the guy ran away and they found him to get Belloc to come back. Like there are so many different ways that they orchestrated these Indiana Jones films, and to me, the orchestration of The Last Crusade from beginning to end is perfection. With the exception of Indiana Jones being able to open his eyes underneath petrol.
Oh yeah.
In Venice.
Well, we were talking about that too, where he has the light and you see like some of the
flames
embers
are
of
dripping.
the flames are dripping into the water. You're like,
and
that would have blown up.
Yeah, and all it takes is a match to drop in there, and it blows up the entire thing. He's like, all right, he's under there, and he looks to find a way out from underneath the knight's tomb, and it's like, no, you're opening your eyes under gasoline, not possible. So they take liberties. They do take liberties in certain situations.
But I think all the filmmakers, Spielberg, Lucas, Harrison Ford, everyone, the producers, all were really invested in this particular movie.
Right.
Because you see a lot of personal references for them in this movie. The name of the magician car, I think, was one of the producers' actual magician name.
Okay.
The dog relationship from
of course,
Lucas to
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
You named it
Dog. He's named after the dog.
And one of the best
I had fond memories of that dog.
Yeah, one of the best things, too, that I love about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is that they gave us a prequel within the movie. You get River Phoenix as young Indiana Jones. You get to see where it all started.
Well, it's a great way to how they develop that relationship between father and son.
Of course.
Gives you the cool, how Harrison Ford
why
got
he
the
has the scar.
Why he wears a fedora.
You're by yourself, Han Solo. You're solo.
Yeah.
No, they do it much more organically, how he's not afraid of snakes. And then that scream when he falls into the snakes. And then, of course, yes, the whip across the thing. Where he gets the hat, it's from another archaeologist that's in it for the money. He's in it for the fortune and glory. It's not like Indiana Jones, which was, his morality was in the good end where it belongs in a museum. You see how he can't let go, how obsessive Indiana Jones becomes after a lot of these different artifacts, you know?
To the point where years later, he goes after the same artifact.
Of course.
Cross of Coronado. Belonged in a museum.
So do you! And the quotable. That's the thing about this movie is it is incredibly
All Indiana
quotable.
Jones movies are quotable, but the greatest ones come from this movie. No tickets.
No ticket, man.
Tickets, please.
Boss.
No ticket.
It is so well done. The music, and granted, yes, that's what's great about
Speaking
the three
of the music
movies.
and like sound effects, it was up for Academy Awards. The film won Academy Award for Best Sound Editing Effects and received nominations for the original score, which I love, of course, John Williams.
Yeah.
And but it lost out to The Little Mermaid that year.
It makes sense, man. The Little Mermaid was killing it as well. Disney was killing it with their music at that
For
point.
that
so.
sound effect, though, too, I feel like that one, like when I think of that, I feel like the one scene when they're at the library/church, and it's
Another great, just organic moment. It just happened.
and
It's
he's
just
like so good because he's just like.
Yeah, he
I
puts it up
love
there.
that scene.
Going back to what you were saying about like the organic of the movie, on how things just happened and it got us to the end.
Of course.
Stuff like where he sent his diary to his son because his son would never bring it back to Germany with him.
Of course.
And he's telling him, "You think my son would do?" What does he say? You think he'd be stupid enough to bring
Bring it here.
Bring it
yeah.
here.
And then the face that he gives him when he realizes, oh, you didn't. And then, of course, he didn't bring poor Marcus into this. And that lie that he tells about how he speaks all the different languages. He
15
can blend
languages,
in, disappear.
blend in.
Does anybody
But then
know
he
how to
lucky,
speak English?
then he lucky he has the Grail by now.
The cuts for the comedy aspect of for the sake of comedy. I mean, they're so well done in this movie to the point where
When they're
it's just
fighting
so
the Nazis
natural.
on the motorcycle and he knocks the guy off and he's all smiling, laughing.
Disappointment in Sean Connery's face, but yeah, I mean, there are so many fantastic moments, the set design, the practical effects, the stunt work, in so many different moments too. Like you do have those more intimate moments as well, like with Henry Jones and Indiana Jones too, you know, where Indiana,
Yeah.
let it go. Like such great moments, that music blaring in the background for the Crusade, or at least for the Knights. You've got plenty of heart when it comes to this movie.
And I think this
locations
movie,
as well.
oh
Yes.
yeah, all over the world. And with this particular movie, it launched the television series, The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, because it came out almost after this came out, which was a precursor to the relationship between Henry Jones Sr. and Indiana. And I love that series. And if you ever have the opportunity to watch all 3 volumes, do so. They're all 2-hour episodes, and it goes through his whole entire childhood through World War I. Just check it out, you'll love it too. And it bleeds into a lot of the movies. The 4th movie, Indiana Jones movie, had a lot of references to it. That's why I think when Indiana Jones 4 came out, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, I think I have a different perspective because of the way I went in to watch the movie.
Sure.
And as you remember, I knew nothing of the movie. Never saw a trailer, avoided everything, didn't even see the Snickers candy bars that were promoting it. I refused to see anything.
He just ate the Snickers.
I don't clearly.
Wrapper and all.
But
yeah.
I think it left it. That's why I do like the 4th one a little bit. It is my least favorite Indiana Jones, but I still enjoyed it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain things about the 4th one that are pretty good, like at the whole warehouse.
Absolutely. Area 51 in the warehouse. I mean, Indiana Jones was
were better
charging into
possibilities.
Area 51 before it was cool.
Before it was a thing.
Right?
And those little subtle hints too, the musical cues, at least when it comes to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love when he's like, it's the Ark of the Covenant. Are you sure? Pretty sure. And he's
then
walking through the
you
category.
see
You hear the music with the picture engraved on the actual wall, and then they do it again one more time in Indiana Jones 4. So those moments do echo throughout the series.
You get swinging monkeys.
Yeah, swinging monkeys, but that's a whole different Better Late Than Never that we'll eventually get to.
I loved Indiana Jones. What do you guys think? Do you like Indiana Jones? Which one is your favorite? What do you think of this new set? What do you think of Better Late Than Never?
Tell us down in the comments below. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on a Patreon. Get us where we need to go September 14th.
We will be in Tempe, doing a little Schmoedown event at Tempe Improv. We're going up against the Wildberries.
Wildberries! We are facing off in the Schmoedown live, Tempe, Arizona, September 14th. Get your tickets in the description of this video. If you're in Arizona, come on out. It's gonna be a great time. You're gonna have a good time. Other than that, thank you, Travis.
Thank you, guys.
Episode 100 in the books.
100. Let's go for another 100.
All right, let's do it. Thank you guys so much, and as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over. Bye.
Bye.